Well, the challenge that Franco and Veritage helped us with was the fact that we didn't have a succession plan. We didn't know what a family charter was. And so we were in new territory and we knew we had to do something. So he helped us go through that journey. And it was an incredible journey because it was a learning experience that I'd never had before. And from a family point of view, it was just fantastic. Well, the consequences of not doing the work was we wanted to keep the company in the family. So we had to know how it would go to the next generation and the generation afterwards. We had no idea how to do that. And we had a family meeting to communicate, do we sell the business, do we IPO the business, or do we keep it as a family business? Everybody agreed we wanted to keep it as a family business because 3 of our 4 kids wanted to work in the business. So that's why we went along this journey and did a family charter and the succession planning and worked out how to keep the family business in the bloodline in the long term so it doesn't go to outsiders. Franco creates a safe space. He said, this is a safe space. You've got to have a safe space where you can talk honestly with each other without judgment and without any ramifications. And that's really a good thing. So it makes you comfortable when you're in that situation. Then it builds up to guiding principles, how you talk to each other, how you treat each other, how you respect each other. And that was a fantastic way of looking at the business because now in the family, everybody listens to each other, everybody respects each other's opinion, even if they don't agree with it, and we get on and it's harmonious, really, really fantastic. But I think the interesting thing that happens with this emotional journey which starts, Franco pulls you together so that you think about things yourself and talk about yourself that you never talk about and brings things out in the open that you honestly understand about yourself. And then he does that with each individual. Then he brings you all together. And it gives you a much better understanding of each other. It brings the family closer together. We were a fairly close family, but it brings us much closer together. We talk about more problems. We talk about opportunities. When there's discussions and when there's things that we disagree with, it gets talked out much, much better and much more friendly, and you get better decisions. It's really a really good journey. It's a really emotional journey. And then once he's done that journey, you go into the practical sides of succession planning, like who's an owner and who has the right to be an owner, who isn't an owner, and what disqualifies you from being an owner because you don't have a right to be an owner. Then there's the education policy, the employment policy, or the philanthropic policy, all those policies that you never think of. Well, what are you going to do when you're not here? What's the policy? What's the policy? Really, really good. Franco forces you to look inside yourself. The introspection that you have to look inside yourself and be honest and bring out is really an interesting journey, but it's also a very uplifting journey. And I can understand people are frightened of it because it's foreign. You don't know anything about it. It's bringing you into unknown territory. But the result is just terrific. I really enjoyed it, and so did the family. We really enjoyed it. Franco's magic is a very unusual one because he's willing to be vulnerable himself and tell you the mistakes he's made in his life and gives you those life experiences when you ask him a question. But he also has this ability to get you talking and get you talking about yourself in ways you've never done before. And then also getting you together with one-on-one and then with the family, and get the family talking together like they've never talked before, honestly and openly about things that you would not discuss as a family normally. He gets you to do those things as an emotional journey. And it's really, really rewarding. And everybody in the family has enjoyed that part. It brings openness amongst all your family and all together. It makes you vulnerable, but because you've created a safe space, you're not that vulnerable. You're happy to talk about things, and it's really, really good. If you do have a family business and you want to keep that in the family and keep it protected in the bloodline, you have to do this. And you've got to go through the emotional journey first before you get to the practical side, because the practical side is so boring and so hard. If you haven't done the emotional journey and know how to talk to each other and respect each other and understand each other and listen to each person's opinion, you won't get the practical side done very well, because they're really hard decisions. Most of the problems with most families come out of money and business and disagreements. And if you know how to handle those disagreements, you'll have a successful family and a successful business. But if you don't, the business families will just disengage and not talk to each other. And you hear that all the time. And that's why we did it, because we heard of a few families, big families that have had great businesses. The brothers can't get on once the father passes away. And then suddenly the whole place just has to be sold or broken up or just ruined. And they're big, strong family, long-standing businesses. I didn't want that to happen because the children wanted to take over the business. I wanted to make sure that they knew how to work together. And Franco did a great job in them understanding each other and each other's weaknesses and each other's strengths so that they can work together and work through problems.